Hi guys, it's Sherry. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. Y'all, today we are going to do something simple and spectacular at the same time. Stay tuned. What I'm talking about. I'll give you a closer look as we get ready to make the project and go over what's needed to make it. But we are going to be making the cutest, the sweetest, the simplest 3 notebook set that will surely bring a smile to someone's face. And I am using this adorable bee paper as the foundation for the whole look of this project. I wanted to do yellow, I wanted to do happy, I wanted to do springy, and bees are certainly happy. Bumblebees are the cutest. And we're going to make this set. This is going to be a perfect set to gift, to sell, or to keep. And if you don't want to go with the bee theme paper, this really isn't any season, any reason, any gender craft, because all you have to do is change the paper. So y'all know what time it is? It is time to make it. And so here is a closer look at what we're going to be making today, guys. We're going to be making a notebook set, but that notebook set is going to consist of 3 notebooks, and they're going to be the flexible notebooks. So we won't have a spine, we won't have chipboard on the notebook, but we will have a chipboard holder for this. And I'll just hold it up like that so that you can see we have this opening in the front. I am going to untie this so that you can see just how gorgeous these are. We have a piece of acetate that we're going to place down on the top. And then I have 3 absolutely beautiful notebooks that I used different types of paper to make. So I wanted to have that lemony yellow theme, that happy, happy yellow, but I also wanted to have a bee theme running throughout the project. So the flowers, the pollination, the bees. And then we open our project on the inside. We have a beautiful inside cover. And then we have these sweet little decorative pages. And these pages were actually hand-drawn and colored by my daughter, Erin. So I wanted some fun bee and dragonfly paper, and that's exactly what she gave me on this project. So you can see that we have 3 very flexible notebooks. I did not want the spines on these to be hard spines because I want us to be able to take our books and open them as far as we need to. So this is today's project. Let's make it. All right, guys, so here's what we're going to need to make our project. We are going to need 50 pieces of 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 inch writing paper. Now, I'm using just regular old copier paper for this, and I have 50 sheets. And then here is a look at the dragonfly drawing. So throughout my book, I will have a mixture of dragonfly and bee paper just to make up the cuteness of this book. So I have 50 pages of those. So if you're going to make this project and you'll be making 3 books like I've done in this project, you're going to need a total of 150 sheets cut at 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 with 50 sheets per set. Then I have my chipboard pieces. So I have 2 pieces of chipboard that measure 1 1/8 by 6 7/8. I have 1 piece that measures 4 7/8 by 1 1/8. And I have 2 pieces that measure 1 1/8 by 1 1/8. Then I have a larger piece that measures 5 1/2 by 7 1/2. I have a piece of acetate that measures 6 7/8 by 4 7/8. Then I have my decorative paper pieces. I have some beautiful lemon colored cardstock, and I will need 6 of these that measure 1 by 6 1/2. And then for the jacket covers, and as you guys know, I used a mixture of patterns on this. So you will need 3 pieces of your choice that measure 9 3/8 by 6 1/2. And then to cover the base of my project, I have this beautiful, beautiful bee paper, and it's sheet paper, and it's made in Italy. So I'll hold it up right here so that you can get the name of the maker. And then I'll slide it over so that hopefully you can get this SKU, and the SKU is 023843014746. And if you don't have any wrapping paper, you will need to join paper to get the length that you will need to make this project. And you're going to need approximately 23 inches to be able to make this project if you're joining papers together. So the first thing that we'll be doing is making the book. And we will score on the 9 3/8 inch side at 4.5. Rotate it to the opposite 9 3/8 inch side and score at 4.5. And then we'll take our two strips that measure 6.5 by 1, and we're going to score these at 1/2 inch on the 1 inch side. And making these books will be a super simple process. I'm not adding any chipboard because I really do want these to be flexible little notebooks that you can just carry. If you want to use contact paper for this project, you can. If you feel like you want to add lamination, you can certainly do whatever it is you want to do with your project when you're making it. But I am going to keep mine very simple because I do want to go for that simple, flexible look. So I am taking my papers and tapping them into straightness. And now I'll just take my clips and I'm going to put my clips on both ends just like this. And I'll bring in a little paper towel for this because it will get messy. And I am just going to hold it here and add some glue dots going all the way across. And I'm being generous with my glue. So once I have that glue, all I'm going to do is take my fingers and just work that glue onto the back side of my paper. And get a nice coating just like that. Make sure you don't have any glue coming over to the front or the back piece of your paper. We're going to remove our clips. Take the book, and when you place it down, you're going to be placing it down so that it falls inside of those two score marks. So I am going to take this, place it down. Going to use my paper towel just to make sure I've got my placement nice and straight. And then I'll go to the back side, do the same thing. So all I'm doing is running that paper towel along the back side of that paper, and then I can come back to the front and I'm going to press down to make sure that I have a nice stick, and then I'll close it, go along that back side, open it again, press it down, and just repeat this process until you feel like you have a pretty good stick on your book. And I'm not going to open it all the way because this does need to dry, but you can see just how cute this is with the decorative paper on the inside. So now I'm just going to take my two strips. I am just going to add some glue. You can use tape if you want. So now I'll take my strip, place it right there, and that's just giving me a nice little finish to the edge of my book. I'll flip it over and we'll do the back. And you can decorate the outside of your books if you want. And I found these little gnome and bee stickers on Amazon, and I think they're just the sweetest. So I think I'm going to try to work one of these in. And I like this little gnome guy right here. And I'm just going to put him on the front. And I do think that he classed up the joint just a little bit. And I really do like the way the gnome looks on here, but I don't want to take away from the looks of these prints. So I am not going to add anything on them. So now that we have our 3 books in this set, we're going to go ahead and make the holder for it. All right, guys, so we are going to lay down our chipboard pieces. And even I had to join 2 pieces of my sheet paper together because it wasn't long enough. So that means that you definitely need at least 23 inches to be able to make this project. So joining paper will be necessary if you're using sheet paper that is less than 23 inches long, and mine was 20 inches, so I did have to join it, and that's okay because I'm going to make that the back of my box. So I am going to take my 4 7/8 by 1 1/8 inch piece, place it right there. Then I'm going to take one of my 1 1/8 by 6 7/8 inch pieces, place it right there, giving myself about 1/8 of an inch in spacing, and place it right there, giving myself about 1/8 of an inch in spacing. Then I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing on this end. So I'll place my second piece of 6 7/8 by 1 1/8 inch pieces, and I'll place it right there, giving myself about 1/8 of an inch in spacing. And I'll place my second 1 1/8 by 1 1/8 inch piece right there, giving myself about 1/8 of an inch in spacing. And then I'm just going to come in and trim away some of my excess from the two ends. And so you're going to end up with a piece that looks like this. So now what we'll be doing is we are going to make a cut in this way, and then we'll make that cut in this way, and we'll do the same thing here and the same thing here, and we'll do the same thing on the opposite end. So go to that little piece on the end, make a cut in, then cut like that, make a cut here, and a cut there. And so what we'll be doing is we're going to be folding over that top piece so that we are covering both sides of the chipboard. So before we do the fold over, we're going to go in between where we place the two pieces of chipboard, but we're not going to cut in between those. We're going to come down just a little bit and notch out a V. So everywhere that you have space, we're going to notch out that little triangle piece. And so this becomes the bottom. So what I'm going to do is take my glue, place it on that tab, and fold that tab over. That's just going to give us a nice finished edge. I'll come over to the other side, do the same thing, just fold that over. So now we'll place down our tape and we'll be able to do our fold over. So I'm using 1 inch tape, and I'm making sure that I have it placed so that I have coverage along the bottom so that my fold over will be complete on how it touches. So I am going to remove my backer sheet. Then I'm going to add just a little bit of glue on the end right there, and I'll add a little bit on this end to cover anywhere that I might not have gotten my tape. Now I can take this piece and we can just fold it over. And now I'm just going to fold my bottom flaps backwards. Those flaps that I made the triangle cuts on, I am just going to fold those backwards so that I can get in and remove this excess overhang. So I'm just going to go in and trim away the excess from that fold over piece. So now that I've trimmed away the excess, I can stand this up, and once we have our base made, we'll put this down on the base just like that. So I am going to bring in my B paper and my chipboard that measures 5.5 by 7.5. I'm going to take that, and when I put it down, I'm going to give myself a nice little border. I'll trim away the excess. And this is wrapping paper, so it is thin enough that I don't have to worry about going around and scoring because it's not going to crack on me. But if you have paper that you think might crack, just take your stylus or bone folder, press it against the chipboard, and then drive it into the paper to get a nice little score. So I am just going to stand this up, and we are going to do a fold over. And now I'm going to miter my edges. So basically all I'm doing is going in and cutting at an angle so that when I fold over, I'll have that nice book wrap look. And so I am going to use my tape runner on this piece. So I am just going to place tape on these flaps. We'll fold them over and get them stuck. And then I'll use my big old spatula to get that nice and stuck. And so now we're able to take that little box outer that we made, and we can place it down on our platform, and you can see that I have plenty of room on all four sides to be able to get this placed down and have that platform look. So I am going to go ahead and place my glue all over those bottom flaps, and I am going to be generous with my glue. And this is just a super easy way to get boutique looking boxes. So now I'm going to just square that up on my table, put this down, and I'll bring that in. And so before I stick it down all the way, I am going to go around from side to side just to make sure my border is nice and even on all sides. And if it isn't, before my Reptile Glue sets, I have a chance to move it into place. And then when I think I have the placement that I want, I can get it stuck. And when you have it stuck, you're going to have an opening that looks like this. All right, y'all, so then we need to cover the inside of this because we wouldn't want this showing. I forgot to mention a piece of chipboard that we're going to need. And we need a piece of chipboard that measures 4 7/8 by 5 7/8. And I am going to use my B paper to cover this. So I'm going to place that down. And then I'll just trim away. So before I place it in, I'm going to do a test fit to make sure it fits this way and that it fits this way, and I think I'm good. So I am going to take some glue, place some glue on the back, and we'll put this down on the inside, just like that. I'm going to use my big old spatula to try to get in here and make sure that I have those edges nice and stuck. And I think that is just so beautiful. So I'm going to take my books, put them on the inside just to make sure that they're going to fit. And you can see that we do have a nice little fit on this. And this is how they look when you look at them from this angle. So what I'm going to do is take my piece of acetate and we're going to just place that on the top. We're not even going to fold it over. We're going to place it on the top as a protector for the books. So to finish this off, I am going to remove all of the books from the base along with that acetate piece that we'll have on the top. And then I am going to take some sweet yellow ribbon and we are going to tie a yellow ribbon. Now, how many of you heard the Tony Orlando and Dawn song when I said tie a yellow ribbon? I know I remember them. Do you remember? So I am just going to take this ribbon and we are going to tie it. And I'm going to tie a bow as best I can. I am not a bow tire, but I'll try to get a little cuteness going. So you can see I have that piece of acetate covering the top. I am going to take my scissors and just trim. And now when I take this, I can actually slide that up just a little bit if I want so that you can get a good look at that gnome's face. I think I'm going to trim just a little bit more. So there we have it, y'all. We have this beautiful little set, custom, that you can make to gift, to keep, or to sell at your craft fair. This would make an awesome little craft fair seller for your table, your Etsy shop, your online shop, wherever it is you're selling your items. So I hope that you have enjoyed this awesome, awesome project because it is spectacular. And if you have, please hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you join my online crafting family. You guys, as always, please be safe, be kind, happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.